God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day to unlock every gift inside. Let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know you can win. Live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack.
In this video, I want to talk to you about how to guard your lips. Keys to keeping someone's confidence with respect and integrity. What to do with a secret. So I'm going to define what I mean by secret, because there are harmful secrets and we're going to differentiate. But before I do, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who came out to our workshop today on Zoom on Spiritual Discernment 101, how to sharpen your sixth sense. We had an amazing time. We really dived deep into discernment. And the workshop is going to be offered again on May 17th. So when you see the flyer, if you want to attend, I would encourage you to purchase your tickets very quickly, because last time it sold out. And it's very intimate. So I keep the group small enough so that you have time to ask questions. You have time to really share what it is that you are dealing with regarding discernment. And I don't rush through the material, and you also get a workbook. You'll see the link in the video description box for the upcoming workshop. So how do you place a guard around your lips? And why is it important to be able to keep someone's secret? So let me be clear about the type of secret I'm not talking about. So I'm not talking about secrets that harm people. So if someone is harming someone, if you have knowledge that somebody is harming a child, touching a child inappropriately, the authorities need to know. That is a situation where that secret does not need to be kept, because that is a harmful secret. I don't care if it's happening in the church, wherever it's happening, the authorities need to know so that the children can be protected. So we're not talking about those type of situations. So I want to be very clear. But let's say that Somebody is watching the way that you show up for life. You move with integrity. They see that you kind of keep to yourself, friendly enough, but you mind your business. And they know that you're a believer. And maybe they're going through something and they just don't know what to do. So they come to you, they pour out their heart to you, and they ask you to pray for them. Maybe they have a child who is battling a drug addiction and they don't want the whole world to know that. And so they confide that in you to pray for them. And in the praying, you may even direct them to a resource like NA. So how do we begin to have the integrity as believers? Because somebody may come to you and ask you to be their prayer partner. Somebody may come to you and ask you to pray for them. You may be the only person in your family who is the generational curse breaker in your family, who is a light in your family. And if people feel like they cannot trust you with confidential, sensitive information, that weakens your witness. And again, I'm not talking about secrets that hurt, right? We're not talking about secrets that hurt. I want to be very clear. Those secrets should never be kept. If somebody is harming somebody, if somebody is creating harm and havoc to a child, to an adult, that needs to be, the authorities need to know something like that. So that's not what we're talking about. So let's look at why it's important and how to begin to keep a secret. So keeping a secret involves being mindful and disciplined. So it involves two skills: mindfulness, which is just intentional thought, and discipline, which is one of the fruits of the Spirit, about the information that you're entrusted with. So when a person entrusts you, maybe you have someone who comes to you because you've been married for a long time and they're going through a rough patch in their marriage. They don't know anybody else who's been married as long as you. And so they come to you and they say, this is what I'm going through in my marriage. And they don't want you to tell the whole building, the whole neighborhood watch, the whole homeowners association, the whole PTA, because that's not everybody's business. They're coming to you because they see that you've been married for a long time. Maybe you go to church with them, and they want you to pray for them as it relates to their marriage. Maybe they got a negative report from the doctor, and they know that you battled something similar, and they want you to pray for them in that area. Maybe they don't even know where to go in terms of what scriptures to look for, right? And so by them coming to you, they're looking for your help, your assistance. And it's important to know that you have the type of integrity where people can trust you. That is part of your walk. So let's look at a couple of things. I'm going to give you about 3 things that'll really help you to understand the weight of what it means to, and weight, WEIGHT, the weight of what it means to be entrusted with something that is confidential, and to be able to know that somebody has that level of respect for the way that you live your life, the level of respect for how you hold on to God's unchanging hand, that they come to you. So number 1, understand the importance of the thing that they're telling you. And so realize why it's important to keep that thing confidential. If you understand why it matters to the person, you're less likely to slip up if this is a struggle for you. And so again, maybe the reason why it is really important is it can be a situation where somebody comes to you because they're going through a marriage struggle and they've been praying. The Lord has been leading them to work it out. They've seen that you have been married for quite a while, and it's important. It matters to them because it's their marriage. Their marriage matters to them. Or maybe they're going through a divorce and it's not what they desire, but that's what their spouse wants, and there's no turning back. And their spouse is adamant, and the divorce, they're going through with the divorce, and maybe the spouse has found somebody else. And this person is having a hard time keeping it together, mentally, keeping it together emotionally, not crashing out. And so you may be the person who can be the voice of reason for that individual to begin to point them to scriptures about God's peace. Maybe point them to a resource that can assist them without everybody knowing what they're going through. Second thing that really helps in terms of building discipline and mindfulness as it relates to keeping confidential information confidential, avoid discussing the matter, period. So keep it out of casual conversation. It's real easy for a secret to slip when you are talking about that particular topic. So it could be something as simple as, we're going to give the person a name. Oh, how's Jane? Well, Jane is really going through it in her marriage. This is happening and that's happening. And not only is she going through it in her marriage, but her and her mother-in-law not speaking. On top of that, her child got caught with marijuana and got suspended from school. Like that's unnecessary. That's unnecessary. So you want to keep it out of casual conversation. So even something as simple as, Jane's okay. Jane's okay. Jane is okay. And even be mindful, because sometimes people will say things like, well, keep Jane in your prayers. You want to be mindful, because if Jane didn't share it with that other person and that other person is a blabbermouth, they can take that and run. Because you have to remember, everybody doesn't have your fruit. And even if you're sincere, you may really be sincere, like, no, we need to pray for Jane. But that doesn't mean the person who's coming to you asking about Jane is being sincere. And again, it is not your secret to tell. So when it comes up in conversation, the person's name comes up in conversation, just be general. If Jane is on the committee where they're baking cakes at the church, then talk about that. But you want to keep it general. 3, think before you speak. Think before you speak. Because sometimes small bits of information can give away the larger secret. So be mindful even when you're saying small things. Well, I tell you, marriage is a hard thing. So if you're saying marriage is a hard thing, right on the heels of the nosy person asking about Jane, then they can put 2 and 2 together. Why would you say marriage is a hard thing after they say, how's Jane? So you want to be really mindful, and you want to think before you speak, because it's really easy to break someone's trust. And once you break someone's trust, it's very difficult to get that trust back, because they entrusted you. They entrusted you. 4, set boundaries with yourself. So if you are the keeper of the secret, set boundaries with yourself, but also set boundaries with others. So maybe there are rumors, but you know the real deal. And there are rumors about that person's situation. And you have nosy people saying, girl, I heard that Sam is dealing with so-and-so and Jane is dealing with this. And sometimes people will tell you tidbits and they'll put some lies in there because they're trying to extract information to see what you know. They really don't know anything, but they know that you're kind of close to Jane, and they're trying to figure out what you know, or they know that Jane talks to you or, respects you. So you want to be mindful of setting boundaries with yourself of what you say, and setting boundaries with other people. So if people come to you about what they heard, don't be so quick to clarify, because sometimes in clarifying the rumor, you give away information that's none of their business. And so it's okay to nip a conversation in the bud. And sometimes behavior needs to be called out. And so it could be something as simple as, well, I don't discuss other people's personal business, so I can't really weigh in on that. That's very direct. I don't discuss people's personal business, so I can't weigh in on that. Or, that's really none of my business, so I can't weigh in on that. If you really want to get jiggy with it, that's really none of my business, nor do I believe it's your business. And so let's get to the business of making these pies, or whatever it is you're doing in the meantime. Or let me get to the business of catching up on these phone calls. And you don't have to be nasty. You can be lighthearted about it. But you want to send the message that you're shutting down all gossip. And even if there were rumors, right, you can't control a rumor about another person, but you want to send the message that I don't participate in that type of behavior. And you can say it, if my way is too direct for you, You say it in a way that's comfortable for you. So sometimes we can smile. Sometimes no words need to be said. Sometimes a person can come to you with a rumor. Well, did you hear that Jane is going through A, B, and C, and her husband did this, and his wife did this, and this happened? And you just look and smile. You just look and smile. Or you pick up your phone. Or you're like, look, the time is getting away from me. Let me get back to A, B, and C, whatever it was you were doing. So that also sends a message, because sometimes you can send a message with your actions if you're not a person who's very direct verbally. If that's not a comfort level of yours, you can still send the message that I don't participate in gossip with your actions, right? So you can distract yourself. So you might say, oh, do you want some coffee? Or let me grab me a water. Oh, I see a call coming in, or I have to make a call. If no call is coming in, I got to make a call. So those are some additional ways, so that you're not being pulled in where somebody says something you didn't say, and now Jane is wondering why you betrayed her trust. And it's very easy to do that unintentionally. Just think about it. Clarifying a rumor. No, that's not true at all. Jane never cheated on her husband. No, her husband is the one who cheated on her. And in fact, his mistress is Susanna. And so you're clarifying the rumor, but in clarifying the rumor, maybe the person who came to you with the rumor doesn't even know all of that. And now you betrayed their trust, and they're trying to fish for information. You got to be able to discern and see through this, see through these little tactics. 5. 5, write it down. Write it down. Sometimes when you are carrying the weight of somebody's secret, and again, I'm not talking about harmful secrets, but it still feels weighty to you, write it in a journal where nobody else will see, and ask the Lord to guide you how to pray for that person. Write it in a journal. The act of writing it down gets it out of your brain and body if you need to release it, because it's so heavy even for you to carry. You're like, this is some heavy stuff that this person's dealing with, and I'm stressed and I can't even think straight because I am so weighed down by carrying a burden, right? Sometimes we have burdens for the Lord, burdens for the Lord's people. And so if you need to release that burden, give it to God in prayer, and physically write it down on a sheet of paper in a journal, and then tear it up. So that's another way that you can train yourself to raise your level of confidentiality in keeping people's confidence when it's appropriate to do so. Again, you're going to keep hearing me say that because there are instances where you cannot keep something confident, like when a child is being abused. Last but not least, if you feel the urge, like it's going to come out, avoid putting yourself in situations where you might spill the beans, so to speak. So if you know that when you go to brunch with the girls and you're all catching up, that there's a likelihood that you may reveal this thing that this person has entrusted you with, sit out the brunch. Sit this one out. It's that important. Your integrity is that important. Your reputation as a child of the Most High God who has integrity, it's that important. Sometimes we do things out of a sacrifice. Just like there's a sacrifice of praise, sometimes there's things we do out of a sacrifice for our fellow brothers and sisters because it's bigger than us. Because if they came to you, please understand, they saw the God in you. If they came to you, they saw the God in you. And you may have unbelievers who come to you because they see the God in you. That's a lot to be responsible for. They saw the God in you. And you want to uphold that. And so even if it means you got to sit this event out because you're going to spill the beans, or when you get there you feel like you're going to spill the beans, then it might be time to leave. You know, I had a great time. I got to call it an early night, everybody. So these are some things to kind of really begin to be intentional about disciplining your mouth when somebody tells you something in confidence, because they're seeing your faith. They're seeing how you handle stress. They're seeing how you have handled trials. Maybe they heard your testimony and they're like, I know that she has I know that she's the person I can talk to. I know that he's the person I can talk to. If I can't talk to nobody else about this struggle, I can talk to brother so-and-so, and I know that he's going to give me wise, godly, biblical counsel. He's going to pray for me and not put my business on blast. So let me give you some scriptures. Proverbs 21, verse 23. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. So when we keep our mouth and our tongue, we keep ourselves out of trouble, because it's easy to be in the middle of he say, she say when you break somebody's confidence. Not only that, we betray the person, right? Proverbs 13 and 3 says, whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. And so when we open our mouth wide, our lips wide, we come to ruin. We can ruin somebody's reputation. We ruin our own witness because we show them that we can't be trusted. Again, I'm not talking about secrets that hurt, that harm people who can't defend themselves, that harm children. So we're not talking about that. You get wind that there's a pastor who's being inappropriate, you let the authorities know. You get wind that there's a teacher at the daycare, we're not talking about that. No. You let that be known. You let that be known. You go to the authorities with that information. So when we open our lips wide, and I'm talking about when it's appropriate to keep that person's confidence, we come to ruin because we weaken our witness. We're showing that we can't be counted on. And there might be a person who has nobody to pray for them, and they come to you in full sincerity asking you to pray for them, and they're entrusting you with their battles, with their struggles. They're not thinking you're going to put them on blast. And if it's something that you believe you can't handle, because sometimes that happens, give them the courtesy of saying, would you like both of us to go to the pastor together? I can come with you. Would you like to talk to the pastor about this? Because I don't know what to do. It's okay to say that, but it's still their choice. But don't go behind their back and do it, because that's not having integrity. I want to give you one last scripture. Proverbs 17, 27 and 28. Whoever restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. Even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is deemed intelligent. And so when we restrain our words, we have knowledge, right? We have knowledge of human behavior. We have knowledge of what it means to be a person of integrity. We have knowledge of understanding that that person is in crisis, or that person is battling something and they don't know what to do and where to go. You have knowledge of that. That's why they came to you. You have knowledge of something very personal that they might be dealing with. And when you have a cool spirit, you're not so hot to put it on blast and tell everybody, right? You have understanding because you understand the weight of what they're dealing with. You're giving them time to figure it out. You're pointing them to a scripture that might help them. Maybe it's a resource. It's a scripture and a resource. You might encourage them to go to therapy. You might encourage them to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. Maybe you know of a program in your neighborhood. In addition to prayer, you're giving them the telephone number and the address to the program. But there's still a level of respecting their confidentiality. So I hope this is helpful, particularly for those of you who people may look up to you, because you are the person in their circle who is the person of faith for them. And oftentimes, we will lead other people to salvation by how we walk. And people will say, well, I want to get to know God through Christ like you. I want to be able to pray like you. But they're watching you. They're watching to see how you behave. And so this is important, again, to have integrity. It's too many gossips in the body of Christ. It's too many people that love telling people's business and just thinking it's a joke. And then where does a person go who's really battling and doesn't know what to do? Maybe somebody's battling depression, whatever it is, right? And so if they're battling depression, yes, they may need the help of a therapist. They may need the help of some sort of support group. But if they've come to you first, then you were the first line of defense. So you have to keep that in mind, and you don't want the person. I hope that was helpful. I hope the scriptures were helpful in terms of understanding, when to keep a secret and when a secret is harmful, like when a child is being harmed and, the authorities need to know, the police need to know. There are situations, somebody's kidnapping somebody, trafficking. We're not talking about those type of secrets. We're not talking about people who are engaging in something that hurts other people. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Again, the next workshop for discernment is happening May 17th, 2025. And you'll see the link in the video description box. And members know about it first. So if you're a member, you're seeing the video first because this is a member's first video. And then by the time it goes public, you would have had an opportunity to see it first, get the tickets first. So with that being said, have an amazing day. If you are not yet a member, you're missing out. I encourage you to become a member, particularly of the Wellness Club, because that's the level where you have access to our wellness calls that happen the first and third Wednesday of every month. And we focus on mental self-care, emotional self-care, workplace well-being, detecting deception, diving into discernment, and so much more through a biblical lens. And it is cheaper than therapy. It is worth making the investment in yourself. It happens the first and third Wednesday. It's a conference call. You call in. It's interactive, so it's not just me speaking. This is an opportunity where you can ask questions, but it's also an opportunity where you can share your experiences, where you can share the strategies that are working for you as well. First and third Wednesday of every month at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested, you'll see a button that says join. You'll see a link in the description box. When you click on the button or the link, it's going to take you to my channel membership. You'll notice that there are different tiers. Make sure you're joining at the correct tier, the wellness tier, because that's the tier that's going to give you access to the Wellness Club. So have a great day. Let's do our best to be kind. Let's take our common sense with us. God bless.